Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Sports Check. Today I have with me a footballer which is very hard for me to get lah. You know, we can easily get Lionel Messi, we can easily get Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo, but this guy with me, Annil Vigneswaran, is someone who's very hard for me to get. You know, sometimes he can be in Germany, sometimes he can be in Netherlands. You know, thank you so much for joining us, Anil.
Thank you, Sandro. Good to
So
see
how
you.
have you been, bro?
I'm doing well. I came back 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm currently on break.
Yeah.
So yeah, good to be back in Malaysia. for
So
now.
you are a national under 23 footballer, right?
Yes.
So tell me a bit about yourself.
I started my career actually playing at 7 years old.
Yeah.
I started playing in Kajang, in the streets of Kajang and things like that. Slowly I started to get into it seriously at 8, 9 years old. And at 9, 10 years old, I started training even more, waking up at 5,
Yeah.
going to the field before school. And so it started off in Kajang, and from there I got an offer in IX and things like that. For 1 year, I was in IX. And then at 15, I got another opportunity to go to Germany, and since then I'm there. Yeah.
Bro, if you don't mind me asking, you're not tired, you know, because sometimes you're there, sometimes you're in Germany, Netherlands, and all, right? And you tend to travel around the
Yes,
world,
yes.
right? So, what keeps you going, brother? What keeps you going?
That's a good question actually. What keeps me going is always the end goal. My dream to make my dream, pursue my dreams. So yeah, traveling is of course tiring and stuff, but it's also in a way good because you meet new people, see new places, and it's part of the job lah, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. So, of course, lah, you know, I also play football. A
Yeah, of
lot of
course.
footballers out there, right? We always have a role model lah,
Yeah.
whenever we grow up,
Mhm.
right? So, for me, it has always been Sergio Ramos.
Okay, okay.
All right. There's always been Dani
Mhm.
Alves. All right. So tell me a bit about your, you know, your role model and
Mhm.
who inspired you to, you know, become a professional football
Okay.
player, lah.
So if you ask me as a role model, I would say my dad was a very, very big fan of
Yeah.
football.
Yeah.
He loved football. Unfortunately, now he's a lawyer, not a footballer.
Yeah.
But he was a crazy fan. He took football very seriously. So
Yeah.
even sometimes when I had a bad game, he won't talk to me for 2-3 days.
Oh, yes,
Because things like that. It was crazy, I was scared to go home after
You
a
were
bad
scared to
training.
go home?
Yeah, things like that.
Oh,
So
that teruk, bro.
yeah, that's true. So
Yeah.
I think it started off with my dad.
Yeah.
He was very passionate about football.
Passionate, lah.
Yeah, passionate, and he knew. For example, he knew at a very young age. If you want to pursue something, you have to go 100% in it. So I had to, for example, not many people know this, but I had to stop school
Oh, is
at
it?
Form 3 or Form
Okay.
3, Form 3, and then go 100% into football in Germany. In Germany, I was at a language school, not normal school. So I was only studying the language and then full time in football. So morning training, evening training, sometimes even night training. So I would say my dad was the number one role
Yeah, actually,
model.
it's very rare to find a dad like yours
Yeah,
because you know
yeah.
because in our Asian
Yeah,
society,
yeah,
lah,
100%.
normally it's the opposite.
Yes, 100%.
You know, they tend to okay, you know, a child has to focus on
Yes,
education.
yes.
You know, benda macam tu kan.
Yes, 100%.
You know, here your father really allowed you to
Yes,
pursue your
yes. I
dreams.
would say I was
lah.
lucky in that way. Yeah.
You were lucky, lah.
Mhm.
So you never answered my question yet. Who was your idola?
Idola for football. This is
Yeah.
a very interesting fact actually,
Yeah.
because I had the privilege to play with a national player.
Okay.
I think I was 10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
His name is Christy Jayasilan.
Oh,
Comes
okay,
from
okay.
Kajang as well.
Yeah. He
He
used to
was
play for PJ City.
yes, PJ City. I think he was even in the national team
National
for
team.
a short
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
So at that time, at 9, 10 years old, seeing the qualities of a national player was eye-catching to me. I always wanted to be like him. The way he moved in the field. I was playing. We were playing on just a normal field. But I think Christy Jayasilan, when I first saw him, and he's a very, very humble person and a footballer as well. So I would say Christy Jayasilan was definitely my first idol of football.
That's locally lah.
Yes.
But internationally,
International, I would say Carlos Puyol.
Carlos
Because that was his peak
Puyol.
time when I was getting into football.
All right.
So and I
So-
will never forget the diving header he did against Germany in the semi-finals of the World Cup.
2010 World Cup. Yes,
correct.
against Germany
Yes,
lah.
yes.
So you're a Barca fan?
Yes, kind of, you can say. Yes.
Same, brother.
Yes.
Same. Right. So center back has always been your first position, lah.
Actually, no. I started off as a striker, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yes, I started off as a striker. I only started playing as a centre back when I moved to Germany.
All right.
So at 15, I started to get into the centre back position because of my height and my athleticism, according to that coach.
Okay. He saw something in you, lah.
Yeah, he saw something in me. And I never understood it because I always
Yeah.
liked scoring goals. My dad
Yeah.
also only knew me as scoring goals and not
Yeah.
defending. But I always open to new opportunities and things
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And in Germany, as a centre back, you have to be very physical and
Physical,
strong. At that time, I was not so big or things like that. But it was a process I learned actually. It took me 1, 2, 3 years to get really in the rhythm of a centre back, and now I would say it's a good because I play sometimes in the left back position,
back.
yeah, centre back,
flanker position,
flanker
lah.
kind of
Oh,
position. Yeah, I'm
okay.
not the slowest as well, so
Yeah.
yeah, things like that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, I can see that you're beefing up, lah.
Yeah,
When the
bro.
last time I saw
Thank
you,
you,
were a
bro.
skinny young
Yeah,
boy.
yeah,
Now since
yeah.
you've been going abroad,
Yeah.
right?
Some people say it's the German food.
The
but
German food,
yeah,
the sausages and
yeah,
all, lah.
yeah.
Not the beer, lah.
No, I don't drink, bro.
All right. And yeah, can see that you're becoming like
Yeah,
Virgil van
thanks.
Dijk, lah.
Yeah, hopefully, bro,
Hopefully.
one day.
Okay, now let's talk a bit about your experience
Okay,
playing abroad,
yeah.
lah. Because you started with Ajax Academy,
Correct,
all
yeah.
right. Then you went to Freiburg,
Mm-hmm.
and most recently you were with Waldorf Meinheim.
Yes,
all right?
correct. Mannheim, yeah.
Meinheim. Sorry,
Yeah,
correct
correct.
my language.
Mhm.
So, what was the most difficult part, lah, for you in adapting to the new football culture and environment? And how do you adjust yourself? Because you see,
Yeah.
you're from Kajang,
Mm,
all right, and you went all the way there,
yeah.
all right. Because if I was in your shoes, I would be blur, bro.
Yeah,
Culture
yeah.
shock,
Mhm.
things like that. So how do you
Yeah.
how did you manage to overcome all this,
Mhm.
lah? Yeah.
I would say I was the same as every other person, as a young person going to a new country, you're always nervous and shocked. But in the same time, you're also excited, you're going for football, want to pursue your dreams and make your parents proud and things like that. For example, your whole friends are standing behind you and saying, do your best, try your best opportunity and things like that. Of course, it was not easy at the start. The language, the food, everything is totally different than to Asia or Malaysia. But mentally, I would say I became very strong because of those circumstances. For example, you go into the cabin room, the dressing room, sorry,
Dressing room.
before training, and as a new player, players are talking German in the other sides, so you can't really get into the
can't really get,
conversation, even though they are kind of trying to get you in the conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, you have to be mentally very strong, and of course in Germany, if you don't know the language, people tend to not speak to you and
Oh,
things
is
like that.
it?
Yeah,
Is
because they're really
it?
passionate about their own culture and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say Germany built who I am today and things like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you were telling me that if you don't know German,
Correct.
susah for you to adapt. They will
Yes,
not
yes.
layan,
Mhm.
things like that, right? So you have been there for quite
6 years.
6 years,
Yeah. Mhm.
right? So of course, lah, bro, you can speak a bit now, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, I'm
can you
fluent, I'm
just
fluent.
for our viewers, can you just say like few things in
Yeah, I
Germany?
can say
German.
wie geht es dir? Was machst du heute? Wie alt bist du? Yeah, I'm kind of fluent in German.
What was that supposed to mean?
How are you?
Oh.
What are you doing? How was your
Okay,
day?
things like
Yeah.
that, lah. So whenever you guys score, because after scoring
Yeah.
they'll say come on or vamos, right? So how do
Yeah,
you say that in
yeah.
German?
We say jawohl.
Jawohl.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
like the German version
Yeah,
of
it's
vamos
typical
or
German,
come on, lah.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Okay. You have played in Netherlands,
Yes.
Germany, and these countries, lah.
Mhm.
Okay, let's talk a bit about football development, lah.
Okay.
Right? So you have been to these countries, you
Mhm.
have seen how the areas, you have experienced it all, lah.
Yeah.
Right? In a very young age,
Mhm.
lah. So based on your experience, what do you think that we should improve in our country in terms
Okay.
of football development, in terms of grassroots
Mhm.
development? Because you see, you had to fly all the way to Ajax, Netherlands,
Yes.
to start your youth development career,
Yeah.
right? So I'm just curious, like why you could not start here and why you had to go all the way there.
Mm.
And do you think that in terms of facilities wise, infrastructure wise, are we ready?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I would say the ecosystem is the main thing in the
Mm.
football. So it has to start from the very bottom before you want to change something. For example, in Ajax or in Germany, from the under nines or under tens or under 11s, you already have 10 leagues per age group.
10 leagues per
Yes,
age
per
group.
age group. At least 10
Wow.
leagues in
Okay.
age group. So you already see the players are already segregated between the best players and slowly the weaker ones. So it's a very competitive lifestyle in the football lifestyle in Europe compared to Malaysia. Um, from when I started football, I don't think there was NFTP or AMD and things like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It just
Yeah.
recently got started, I think in what, 2014,
Yes,
2015
correct,
macam tu. Yeah,
correct.
yeah, yeah.
Yes. There was only the MSSDs,
MSSD,
MSSMs, and
MSSM.
things like that.
Mm.
So looking at all this, my father said, you know what, let's try. So I just went for a camp in Ajax for a week and things like that. And I didn't know I would stay there longer for 6 months or 7 months. So after the coach spoke to my parents and everything, they were like, okay, we can pick him up for 1 year at least, and
That
then
time
we'll
you were
see.
12,
I
12,
was 12, correct.
12,
11,
correct.
12, correct.
12.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say the ecosystem is the main problem we have here.
Here,
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, the professional level, we only have 3, 4 teams who actually can compete with each other, or even 3 teams actually. Yeah, it's a whole thing we have to change actually in Malaysia. I feel my opinion. The below teams, I think most of us know there are no salary problems. Even some of them don't have field to train and things like that. Some of them don't get paid for 3, 4 months. So it's a big. We have to change a lot of things if we wanna at least not even Germany. Let's leave that aside. Maybe even countries like Japan, Korea, or Saudi. We have to change a lot of things if we wanna reach that level.
I want to
Yeah.
reach that level,
Mm-hmm.
huh? Because so technically, are you also giving an advice to young
Mm-hmm.
players like you? Like if you want to have a
Mm-hmm.
fruitful career,
Yes.
try it abroad.
Yeah.
Is it what you're trying to say?
So I actually plan to do this, create a consultancy and things like that for
Oh, is it?
young players
Okay.
from Malaysia to follow the same way I went, or at least get an opportunity outside Malaysia, because I think not many parents in Malaysia or in Asia have really that mindset to send your kid abroad at a young age or things like that. We are more like the cultured type, close to family, things like that, which is I understand as well. It's in our culture, but I think you have to think bigger. For example, in Europe already 9, 10, they are in boarding schools and academies, so their main goal is to make it professional.
Yeah.
So yeah, I plan to create. I haven't created it yet, but I'm still helping young players. Yes, they contact me through Instagram or Facebook or WhatsApp, whatever, and they ask me if they could get an opportunity to at least train with some clubs, or at least have a trial or something. Which is, I personally know how difficult is it to get a opportunity there, and I think why not, just give a chance. If they are that good, and it happens, it's good for Malaysia, good for him, good for me, good for everyone.
Mm.
So it's I'm happy to help any player or anything when they contact me. At least try and get something for them. Maybe not in the top 3 leagues or 4 leagues in Germany, but somewhere in Europe, where they get a pathway to
Mm.
whatever they want to become and things like that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Mm. Mm. So seems like you just don't want to keep your knowledge to
Yeah,
yourself.
of course.
You want to
Mm-hmm.
help as many young
100%.
players
Yeah.
as as
Mm-hmm.
many as you can lah. So now you're with this club, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mindham, right?
Yeah.
So do you have like any like maybe lah in the next 1 or 2 years lah personal ambition?
Mm-hmm.
Like do you have like any personal ambitions like okay, now I'm at
Mm-hmm.
Mindham, one day I want to play for Bayern Munich, or
Yeah.
one day I want to play for Bayern Leverkusen, or
Yeah.
Wolfsburg or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Of course, it's a long way to go.
Long way to go.
Long way to
Since
go
now you know
to.
German also,
Yeah, yeah, of
lagi
course.
senang kan?
Mhm. Of course.
Yeah.
It's a long way to go, but I would say keep dreaming, keep working every day, getting this. For example, in Mannheim, the first team, there are players from the US, ex-US national team.
Oh,
He's our top striker actually, and players who plays in the youth national teams and things like that. The third league Germany is one of the very tough leagues in Europe, I would say, in the lower divisions. Yeah, of course, the dream is always to play in the Bundesliga and things like that. Yes,
Bundesliga,
of course. Yeah,
yeah. The
yeah.
last time you told me, when I last had a chat with
Hmm.
you told me that you were willing to consider for a career in
Yes,
Malaysia,
yes,
right? And you told me that you had a trial with
yes,
JDT,
correct. Hmm.
all right? And Tengku Makuta also offered you,
Yeah,
things like
hmm,
that and things like that, right? So just talk to me about that experience. And do you
yeah.
have do you
Hmm.
still have that urge to one day play for JDT
Yes,
if
yes.
the opportunity happens to
Hmm.
knock your door again?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some people know, some people don't know. I was with Jooho. I was in contact with Jooho for the past 2-3 years maybe. I was in contact with Kiko Insa and Martin Press. Yeah, we always send them my updates and my games and news and things like that. So they're always in touch. And this year in February, I decided to, after the national team, I decided to have a training or trial with them for two weeks, I think, 1 week or 2 weeks. And it was successful. Everything was good and things like that. But I decided at that time to not take that offer because I was still in contract with the club in Germany, number
Germany.
one, and number two, I still thought I'm still too young to come back and play in Malaysia.
You are 21 now,
I'm
right?
21. Yes,
21.
correct. Yeah,
Okay.
and I always want to move to the first team. Now I know Johor, the first team is very strong, and they're playing in the Champions League, performing there, of course, and as well. But yeah, I think if I ever want to move to Asia or Southeast Asia, whatever, I want to move to the first team and not to a second team. Especially in Malaysia, unfortunately, where not many teams are in the second team league. I think it's under 23 league in Malaysia. So yeah, I'm still very very grateful for the opportunity from Tuku Makato, Johor, and all this Kiko Insa, Harvey at that time was helping me as well.
Our
Uh,
current under 17
Yes,
coach, lah.
correct. The
Yeah.
current under 17 coach. I'm very grateful for the opportunity. The infrastructure, the facilities, everything is top. Even their physios, all of them welcomed me really well. The players and everything was perfect. To be honest, it's just that
Mm,
me. I felt for me at that time is not at that time to go to Johor at that time, and I
yeah.
decided, you know what, let's try Germany. Let's try for another 1-2 years maybe, and then see
But
how.
even TMJ was happy with it, lah. He did not like when you told him about
Mhm.
this, he never like he took it
Yeah, I
professionally, lah.
didn't speak to
Yeah.
him personally,
Yeah.
but I sent him a DM, Instagram
Yeah.
message, and I told him, you know what, thank you so much for the opportunity. If I ever come back to Malaysia, I think I would play for Johor. And he said, most welcome, and wish me all the best. And
Mm,
yeah, since then, I've been always watching Johor, in the Champions League.
yeah.
It's a joy, a Malaysian team playing in that
Yeah.
level. So yeah, I think it's every Malaysian player's dream to play in Johor.
Yeah.
It's a whole different level. But yeah, I think for me personally, I still want to continue in Europe. Even if I come back to Southeast Asia, maybe there are other leagues like Thailand or Vietnam or Singapore, things like that. And yeah, let's see what the future holds. Yeah.
Okay. So you already fixed your mind, ah. Kalau
Hmm.
datang Malaysia, the only team they're going to play is for JDT lah.
Yeah. For now, yes.
All right. So I heard that your contract with Mindham is
Hmm.
ending soon,
Correct.
right?
Yeah.
So are you in touch with any clubs, any leagues, or
Yeah.
of course you
Hmm.
don't have to name the clubs
Okay.
because of the
Yeah.
contract
Hmm.
reasons and all, but at least give me some
Mm,
hint lah. Like
yeah,
what leagues are you
sure.
talking?
Yeah, there's an agent actually involved in this.
Yeah.
He knows that my contract is ending as well.
Yeah.
We are talking to clubs in Thailand, for example,
Mm.
in the first and second league, and Korea, for example, Singapore. Yeah, these 3-4 countries, even Indonesia. For now, for the past few days, I think we had a chat. So yeah, I think these 4-5 leagues in Southeast Asia and Asia are my main goal if I ever plan to come back to Asia. But yeah, the main goal is still to continue in Europe, unless of course there's a good offer here where I feel there is a pathway to make myself to the next level and things like that. So yeah, that's the
Mm.
current situation.
So technically, you're always ready to come back.
Yeah.
As
Mhm.
long as there's a pathway, you
Of
will
course,
definitely come
of
back.
course, yes.
Okay, now this is going to be controversial
Of course.
question lah. Okay, because okay, recently, if we look at FAM,
Mhm.
both for the senior team and the junior team,
Yeah.
under 23, a lot of priority is being given to heritage players, naturalized players.
Yeah.
Okay, let's leave naturalized players aside. When it comes to heritage players, player warisan,
Mhm.
those who have mixed blood lah. So they have been scouting a lot of these players, bring them into the national team,
Mhm.
and give them a chance to play for Malaysia.
Yes.
Give them IC,
Yes.
play for Malaysia and
Mhm.
things like that lah. Like even recently we have Fergus Turney,
Correct.
who's
Mhm.
playing in the
Yeah.
from under 23, then he went to senior team.
Mhm.
And a lot of player warisan. We
Yeah.
have so many. So I get a bit frustrated. You know why? People like you, Lokman Hakim,
Mhm.
you guys have a career abroad. You guys put in the effort.
Yeah.
You guys, play in leagues abroad. All right. Okay, let's not talk about performance because performance-wise, okay, like every footballer has his own ups and downs.
True.
But the point is, you guys play abroad.
Mhm.
All right. And scouts over here, they have the time to go and scout for heritage players. They have the time to get them to bring
Agree.
them into
Yes.
our national team, but they don't have the time to scout for players like you guys, and give you guys more opportunity for the national team.
Mhm.
So, as a player who has been playing abroad for many years, are you? Do you share the same sentiment as me?
I agree with you. Yes, Sandro. We need to be more open-minded. I'm not sure how FM works with the scouting development and things like that, but if they can send scouts to Europe to find these players with mixed blood, then they can also send the scouts to watch the games. I think even Indonesia does that. They send the scouts to watch the games of the players in Europe, even though maybe not playing in the Bundesliga, but even the second and third Bundesliga, you
Yeah.
can watch it on TV actually in Germany and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, these basic things I think we need to work on. It's not definitely not wrong to bring mixed blood players, but you should also give a chance to these players playing abroad. Of course, I agree with you. Yes, for example, I believe I had a chance to come back when I came in March.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things didn't go as planned.
Yeah.
Um, I still respect the coach's decision and things
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, I agree with you. Yes, every player, not only me, not only Lokman, every player that applies his stints abroad, and not necessarily they must be called, but at least send someone to follow up.
Come and
Yeah,
watch the
yes,
game,
correct. Yeah,
monitor the
correct.
performance,
Agree.
see how
Yes,
this boy is
correct.
playing,
Yes, yes.
analyze,
Mm-hmm.
things like that
Agree.
lah.
Yes.
That
Just yeah. Have
yeah.
a look. If he doesn't, of course, in the national team setup, I
Yeah.
think
If it's not good, drop him
yes.
lah.
Agree.
Yeah.
100%. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. That's the thing. Since you brought that up,
Mm-hmm.
all right, I wanted to ask you. So, well, you came back in March.
Yes.
You trained with the team
Yes.
for the under 23
Yes.
to play for the Asia Cup,
Yes.
under 20 Asia Cup in
Yes.
Qatar, right? I watched you train and things
Mhm.
like that. I would say things were going very well with
Mhm.
you. You could adapt to the team
Mhm.
training system
Yeah.
and things like that. And one thing, you were a very good centre back.
Thank you. Thank you.
What went wrong, bro? Like, because I was shocked. Because you were called for a reason. You came, you attended all the training sessions. And out of sudden, when I had a chat with Coach Juan Torres, and he came up with a statement saying that Anil is not part of the team. So I was like, I remember I tried contacting you that time, and I couldn't reach you because I think maybe you didn't feel like talking
Okay,
about it,
yeah, I
lah.
agree,
You
yeah.
didn't feel like talking about it. So now since you are here, what went wrong? And did you had a fallout with Coach Juan?
No, actually, everything went well. Like you say, Sandro. I was there for I think 2 weeks. 2 weeks before the team flew to Qatar. Things went well. I started off training. We had 2 friendlies against India. I think we
India.
won one and
Yeah.
drew one.
Yeah.
Played both. So played really well. I feel I had feedback from the coaches, from the players, from things like that. We did well. Unfortunately, it was, I think, behind closed doors. Um, yeah, things did go well. Unfortunately, the reason I got was I'm still new to that team. My development will be followed up by coaches or by scouts. I'm not sure, but I'm definitely a candidate with the team still. It's just that at that time, I needed more time to fit into that team to Qatar.
Uh, did you
So
speak to Coach Juan about this?
yes, Coach Juan and Coach Shuko actually,
Yeah.
both very good coaches in my opinion. Yes, but at that time, at that moment, the reason was I needed more time to gel with the team and things like that. So I don't like these excuses and things like that from my side. I personally think for me, I needed to maybe be I needed to show that I'm much better than the other players. Maybe that was the cause. Uh, Being gelling with the team is not good enough because you are coming from maybe Europe. Maybe that's what they expected. I believe I did well, but if you want me to say that I was much better than other players, I don't think so. I disagree in that. Um, yeah, I agree. Maybe the coaches didn't want. Maybe I didn't fit into that team at that time, according to the coaches. That's the coaches part of it. In the end, we didn't. I think we didn't perform as well in the Qatar in the Asian
Yeah,
Cup.
yeah, yeah, we were bad
We
lah.
lost all the three games.
We were bad.
Yeah, we
We were
were
bad.
under. I think under the merit. I think
Yeah.
we wanted to go much further than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's the past.
We wanted to qualify to the Olympics using the
Yes,
Tak Silap
correct.
saya. Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
Indonesia came
yeah.
close,
Yeah,
but
Indonesia
we
came
were
close.
unfortunately we fell
Yeah.
down.
But
Yeah,
if I was you,
yeah,
and if I suddenly hear from my coach,
yeah.
hey, Sandro, you're not going to be a part of the
Mhm.
team lah. I'm dropping you.
Mm.
Yeah, I would be crying, bro. The whole night I wouldn't be sleeping.
Yeah,
How you managed to
yeah,
overcome such a this
yeah.
one, huh? How you did it?
Actually, this type of things, it happens in football. Even in Europe, I got rejected by many clubs before I actually signed for a club in Germany.
Oh yes, huh?
Yeah, things like that.
Oh.
It's never going upwards only. It's always ups and downs. I just look at it as, what, maybe this is not the right time for the national team. Just go back, work harder, and things like that. It's important at these times to have the right people around you, I would say,
Mm.
because mentally it's very tough. Like you said, I'm no different than you, Sandro. Things like this will bring you down. So,
Mm.
yeah, it's important to always be mentally strong. Accept the situation, but come back stronger, lah.
It's also a signal for you, like
Yeah.
even you yourself, that you are not
Yes.
ready yet.
Yes.
So let's say if you travel with the team, also
Mm.
if you don't play well,
Yes. Yes.
you'll end up kena kecam
Yes. Yes.
from the netizens.
Yes.
So in a
Mm.
way, you took
Yeah.
it in a very
Yes.
positive way,
Yes.
lah.
There's always positive and negatives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now here comes
Mhm.
another sensational
Yeah.
news.
Okay.
I don't know whether you read or not.
Mhm.
Yesterday, Coach Nafuzi Zain.
Yes. Yes. I've seen that news. Yes.
He is
Mhm.
now the under 23 coach.
Yes.
All right, and you are 21 years old.
Mhm.
You still have a chance to
Yeah.
be in under 23 or even transition yourself to the
First team.
senior first
Yes.
team.
Mhm.
So now since Coach Juan Torres is no more,
Mhm.
so Nafuzi is in.
Mhm.
And his track record lah. He
Yeah.
has been with
Of
Kedah,
course. Of course.
Kelantan,
Top coach.
Terengganu,
Yes.
top coach,
Mhm.
one of the top coaches
Yeah.
in our
Yeah.
country.
Mhm.
Now, do you think
Mhm.
that you'll stand a chance to be in his team? And
Mhm.
what would be the efforts that you are going to take to ensure that you stay
Mhm.
under his radar?
Yeah.
Yep.
First of all, congratulations to Coach Nafi Zain for him to be the under 23 coach. I think it's a great step to Malaysian football. Having a local coach, I think most of our players, under 23 players, are local players and things like that. So I think he will do really well. Looking at his records and things like that, it's very impressive. In Malaysia, one of the top coach, like you said. For as of my side, I know I have to prove myself before I get a chance to get called up. That's why, um, the moment January starts, it's gonna be the goal is gonna be play 90 minutes, things like that. I'm not sure how the scouting thing is in FM, but from what I hear, I'm still under the radar for the under 23 national team. I'm in the perfect age right now, 21 years
Yeah,
old.
perfect age. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to really look too far. As of now, I want to focus on my club. If I'm going to stay in Europe or back in Asia, I'm not sure yet. But definitely as January starts, the full 90 minutes, getting full playing time, performing, that's the most important. And hopefully get a call up in the next games and things like that.
But how are you going to impress Coach Nafuzi,
Mhm.
bro? Because you know why I'm asking you, Coach Nafuzi is
Mhm.
a tough nut to crack, lah.
Yes.
Very hard to.
Mhm.
If you want to play under him,
Yes.
you have to be
Yeah, of course,
padu lah.
100%.
So, what are the areas that you think that you
Mm.
should improve
Yeah.
in your gameplay?
Yeah. I have watched some of Coach Nafusi's games with Terengganu and things like that. It's
Yeah.
very impressive. He plays sometimes 3 at the back or 4 at the back. I think my with my experience, it's going to improve. In Europe or in Asia. As I improve that, I think as a player, being more experienced, it's going to help the under 23 national team. Of course, physical attributes, stronger, more aggressive, without the ball, more aggressive, with the ball, knowing what to do, things like that. Being strong, I think these things will attract Coach Nafuzi Zain into hopefully then picking me into the national team. Yeah.
Okay, so so you also expect him. Do you also expect him to send like few scouts to come and watch you play in Europe or something like that?
Yeah, that's for him,
That's
that's for
for him
him and
lah.
FAM to
FAM to
decide.
decide
But
lah.
I think,
Yeah.
if they could send, scouts and stuff, if I'm in Europe,
Yeah.
to then send scouts. But I think he will anyway watch the games. I think he's a coach, who gives a chance to everyone. And so I think it'll go well.
Okay,
Yeah.
brother. Now you're 21.
Yes.
Talented young boy.
Thanks,
Very
bro.
good, versatile defender. Center back and all, right? Now you are part of the under 20 team. You are still in the radar.
Yeah.
So how long do you think that it will take for you to transition into the senior team?
Yeah.
And now we have Coach Peter Cklamovski,
Yeah.
the Australian
Yeah.
guy who came as a new head coach
Yeah.
now. I noticed he has a good track record with young players also,
Agree.
helping them develop into
Yeah.
senior team players. So how long do you think will take for you to transition into a senior team player?
I have no answer in that, but
Yeah.
I hope soon as possible,
Yeah.
getting, these experiences, with maybe the under 23 team and things like that. And most important is for me to also perform, talking doesn't bring you anywhere, to be honest. Yes, to perform. For example, if I get called up for the under 23 team, to perform first there, and then, it's his choice, if I fit into his system or his team, and get a chance also with the first team.
Why I'm asking you this is because based on what I heard,
Yes.
because TMJ is currently overseeing the new structure, right? So he did mention in his tweet that he's going to, this time he's going to bring in quality Warisan
Okay.
players inside,
Yeah.
right? So I was just curious, because definitely if you look at things, so it shows that Peter has good connection with some of the
Okay.
quality players and things like that. And of course, he watches international
Yeah,
matches,
of
right?
course.
So that's why I was thinking, like, maybe, you stand a chance. lah.
Yeah. Could be. Who knows? Yes. Hopefully.
Yeah, good lah. Okay. Next question, bro. Very simple before we
Okay.
end. What are your okay, you told me January you're going to start off new.
Yeah.
Right? You're going to be a new you, you're going to be more consistent
Yeah.
with your performance. Always try to be in the radar and
Mhm.
things like that, right? What are your personal goals for 2025?
2025. I hope to get as much playing time as possible. Either in Europe or in first team in Asia. I'm not sure yet. It will be decided in the near future. But definitely to get as much playing time as possible wherever I am. Perform, second thing, and then to get back into the national team, set up, perform with the national team, make Nafuzi Zain's plan work, trust the process, with him and think. Of course, we don't expect instant results, he's still new, but to definitely have a pathway into the national team and with my club and things like that. Perform, score goals, maybe a few goals, and be a top candidate for the national team and things like that. Yeah.
Seems like you're excited to work under Coach Nafuzi and
of
Coach
course,
Peter. lah.
yeah.
You have his number? Coach Nafuzi?
No, not really. Not
I
yet.
can give
Yeah.
you lah. Maybe I can.
Sure, bro.
Maybe I
Sure.
can say,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
this player we have, coach. You should bring him in.
Yeah.
No, jokes aside, what? thank you, Anil.
Thank you so much, Sandhu.
Thank you for joining us. It's been a
Thank you so much. Yeah.
pleasure.
Mhm.
Nice talking to you. And who knows? Maybe you can join us back.
Yes,
you
of
know,
course,
but
of course, anytime.
this time
Yeah.
maybe we can have it in Berlin or Amsterdam, lah.
For
you know,
sure, for sure. All
because
my
we're
time.
very very hard to catch you
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
So yeah,
Thank
we can
you.
have it
Thank you so
around
much,
there, lah.
Sandhu.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you
bro.
so much.
Take care.